when this 12-year-old sang like Elvis. The entire crowd went crazy. Fire Philippines AGT 2025. The lights dimmed across the massive AGT stage, and a nervous hush fell over the crowd. From behind the curtains, a small figure peeked out, a 12-year-old Filipino boy named Marco Cruz, clutching a worn-out microphone like it was his only friend in the world. His heart pounded so loudly he could barely hear the roaring crowd. It wasn't just stage fright, it was the weight of a dream, carried all the way from a small fishing village in the Philippines to the biggest talent show on earth. Back home, Marco's family didn't have much. His father, a fisherman, often returned from sea with just enough to buy rice for dinner. His mother sold vegetables by the roadside, her hands always tired but her smile unwavering. Every night, while the rest of the village fell asleep, Marco sat by the window with his old transistor radio, listening to Elvis Presley crackle through the static. Something about Elvis's voice, powerful yet soulful, confident yet kind, spoke directly to the boy's heart. He didn't understand all the English lyrics, but he understood the feeling, hope. Someday, Marco would whisper to himself, "I'll sing like him, and make Mama proud." That dream seemed impossible, until a volunteer group from an American church visited their town, bringing food, books, and a guitar. One of the visitors, Mr. Harris, noticed Marco humming "Can't Help Falling in Love" as he helped unload supplies. Impressed, the man handed him the guitar and said, "Let's hear that voice, kid." When Marco sang, the air seemed to stop moving. Even the ocean waves outside went silent, as if the world was listening. Mr. Harris was stunned. "You sound like Elvis reincarnated," he said with tears in his eyes. He recorded Marco's song and uploaded it to YouTube. Within weeks, it went viral, millions of views, thousands of comments, and one life-changing message from the producers of America's Got Talent. Now, standing on that grand stage in Los Angeles, Marco felt like he was dreaming again. Simon Cowell leaned forward, curious. Sofia Vergara smiled warmly. Heidi Klum waved encouragingly. And Terry Crews whispered from backstage, "You got this, little man." The music began, soft, nostalgic, the opening chords of "Can't Help Falling in Love." The audience went quiet, and Marco took a deep breath. His voice was pure magic. Smooth yet powerful, filled with emotion far beyond his years. It wasn't just mimicry, it was as if Elvis's soul had been reborn in this small Filipino boy. People started to stand up halfway through the song. By the final note, Marco had tears in his eyes, and the crowd erupted, a thunderous standing ovation that shook the stage. Simon blinked in disbelief. That was unbelievable," he said slowly. "You didn't just sing like Elvis, you made us feel like him." But it was what happened next that made the world cry. As the crowd chanted his name, Marco stepped forward and said softly into the mic, "Can I say something?" The arena fell silent again. "Back home, my family doesn't have much. My papa's fishing boat broke, and my mama still sells vegetables. But they told me to keep singing, to never stop dreaming. If I ever win anything here, I want to help them. And I want to help the kids in my village go to school. Because everyone deserves a chance, just like I got mine." For a moment, Simon couldn't speak. Then, with glistening eyes, he pressed the golden buzzer. Gold confetti rained down as Marco fell to his knees, overwhelmed by tears. The crowd screamed. His mother, watching from the audience, covered her mouth in disbelief as Terry Crews rushed to hug Marco. That single performance became one of the most viral moments in AGT history. News channels called him the Filipino Elvis. Donations poured in to rebuild his father's boat, build a small school in his village, and even sponsor music programs for kids who couldn't afford instruments. Marco didn't just win hearts, he gave hope to thousands. Months later, as Marco prepared for the AGT finals, he received a letter from Mr. Harris, the man who first uploaded his video. "You reminded the world that true talent isn't about fame," it read. "It's about heart. You didn't just sing like Elvis, Marco. You sang for every child who's ever been told their dreams are too big. When the finals came, Marco stood center stage again, taller now, not just in height but in spirit. He closed his eyes and whispered a prayer, "Thank you for giving me a voice to lift others." Then, under the shimmering lights of Hollywood, he sang a song dedicated to his parents, and to every dreamer who ever dared to believe. By the end, the judges were on their feet. The world watched in tears. And somewhere, in a small fishing village in the Philippines, a proud father and mother looked up at the night sky, hearing their son's voice echo across oceans. Because sometimes, it's not just about the music, it's about what the music awakens in all of us. Hope. Love. Humanity. And as Simon said that night, with his hand still over his heart, Elvis would be proud, but the world is proud of you.